Hey friends, I'm Chris Schufel with Chris in the Classroom, and today I'm talking to all the adults in the room. As many of you know, I was a teacher for over 10 years, and I'm also a parent. And there were so many times where a student would come to me with a problem that I either didn't think I had the time to help them with, or I didn't feel equipped to help them with it. So I would do what most teachers do. I'd either send the student to the counselor, I'd give them some quick, unhelpful advice, or just almost blow them off completely. But it wasn't until one interaction with a seventh grade student changed my view on things. You see, Maddie was a seventh grader in one of my classes. She came to me one day and she said she was having trouble with some problems and things like that. So I thought for a second, thinking back to all the staff trainings that I had sat through. You know those staff trainings. The one where if you're just going to read the PowerPoint, just email me the stinking PowerPoint. Or my favorite, a staff meeting isn't a valid staff meeting unless there's food involved. But I digress. I looked at Maddie and I said, well, why don't you go tell your counselor? I mean, that's what they get underpaid for, right? And she sighed and she said, I don't know my counselor the way I know you. I see you every day. I see my counselor maybe twice a year. My counselor only has time for the bad kids or the ones with the bigger problems. That's when I knew I had to figure something else out. Here's the bigger thing that I realized that day. Maddie came to me. She didn't go to another teacher. She didn't go to another counselor. She didn't go to anyone else. She came to me. Why? Because she knew me. She trusted me. She felt like I could help her. So here are some easy tips for when a student comes to you with a problem. I like to call it the 4 E's. First, empathize. Let them know that you know how they feel. In fact, if you've been through something like that before, tell them. Tell them a bit about your story. Help them to understand that they aren't alone and that you know how they feel and what they may be thinking. Next, encourage. Build them up. Tell them that you know that they can get through it. You know they have what it takes to make it past this. Even let them know that you're going to help see them through it. Third is educate. I mean, that's what you do, right? Show them, teach them exactly what they need to do in order to make it through this situation. And just saying things like, well, you just got to toughen up or suck it up, buttercup. No, that's not the way to do it. Help them understand why things happen the way they did. Tell them what they need to do and exactly how to do it. Help them come up with a game plan. What skills do they need to incorporate? What do they need to learn? What do they need to change? What do they need to do differently? Educate them. And lastly, empower them. This is where words turn into action. Give them the tools they need. Practice with them. Role play. Walk them through exactly the things that they need to do. And make sure they can do it before you just send them out into the wild. Now, it's important to note this. Make sure you actually take time for your students and the kiddos. There were so many times where a student would come to me with a problem and I would give the rest of the class some independent work or practice, and then I would take that student into my office and give them that one-on-one focused attention that they needed. Why? Because to that student, that situation was the most important thing in their life at that moment. And by me sacrificing just a couple of minutes of class time and investing into that student with focused one-on-one attention, I'm telling you, it paid off amazingly well in so many ways. Now, of course, there's some instances where I couldn't stop what I was doing, but I always made sure that the student knew exactly when to come back and see me so they could have my full undivided attention and I could fully engage and use those 4 E's. Well, that's it, friends. Thanks for watching, and until next time, class is dismissed. trouble and problems and bleh. Trouble and problems. I'm having trouble and problems right now.